friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about a brand new foundation that is about to drop from ColourPop. This is the latest addition to the Pretty Fresh family. We're talking about the Pretty Fresh Tinted Foundation Balm. This is in a twist-up stick form. The foundation will be priced at $14 US each. However, you will be able to use coupon codes to save a little bit. So don't forget to use my affiliate code Amanda at checkout if you're going to try out this foundation, and that will save you a couple of bucks on your purchase. The tinted foundation balm will be available in 18 shades. You'll be able to find this on the ColourPop site on Thursday, February 13th. And this will eventually be available at both Ulta and Target. I don't know the release dates for those other retailers yet. I'll try to keep that info updated either down in the description box or in a pinned comment once I find out for sure. Of the 18 shades available in this line, ColourPop sent me 6 of those, so I will show you some live swatches. I also want to show you a close-up look at this packaging. We're going to do an application demo, and I have been wearing this all day, so you'll have an 8-hour wear test as well. Let's jump in and take a close-up look at this tinted foundation balm. Let's start with some details I noticed about this packaging. First of all, my PR samples did not come in any outer carton like the cardboard box that their products usually come in. Instead, the lids are affixed with this sticker, which leads me to believe that these will probably not have an outer carton in any retail settings either. Definitely a new move for the brand packaging wise, but I think that it makes it very easy to spot the different shades at a glance if you were to shop them in person. And I'm also guessing that it's less waste overall, not having to throw away all those cardboard boxes and make them and ship them and stock them. So it's probably a good move for them overall. Now, ColourPop's other complexion products are in the categories fair, light, medium, medium dark, dark, and deep dark. That's what all their complexion products contain. So it looks like there will be 3 shades in each one of these categories for the foundation balms, since there are 18 shades in total. And it looks like each one of these shade ranges has a color coordinating twist up top. It's kind of hard to tell, but the foundations from fair and light ranges that you saw me compare just a second ago have a very slight color difference. I wanted to show you some live swatches of all of the shades that I do have, since I obviously can't wear all of them for you. My camera kept losing focus on us, so hopefully this mostly blurry footage of live swatches will at least give you a little bit of an idea of how these look in action. This foundation stick is labeled as cruelty-free on the packaging, but it's not marked as vegan. So vegan friends, please double and triple check the ingredients list when these pop up on the website to ensure that these are cool for you to use. I looked at the little list on this tiny little label, but I honestly know that some ingredients go by several different names. I'm not 100% positive what I'm looking at, what I'm looking for. So better safe than sorry. I would hate for you to end up with a product that you can't use. So please scrutinize the website thoroughly before ordering. This ColourPop foundation stick has 8.2 grams of product, which seems to be kind of in the middle of the road. I looked at a few other foundation sticks on the Sephora site, and most of them were a little bit more product. Some were less or quite a bit less. So it seems like this is about an average amount for a foundation stick. Before I do any sort of base testing, I like to show you a close-up of my makeup-free skin, so you have an idea of the starting point. Hopefully this will give you a better idea of the coverage and texture, and there's a bonus of me getting to show you some unfiltered and unretouched skin online. We are all bombarded by the quote unquote flawless skin of other people online all day, and I just want to balance the scales on that a little bit. Skin really doesn't look perfect. I'm sure there are some people out there, but for 99% of us mere mortals, we have bumps and crinkles and spots and wrinkles. And bonus, I have some redness and super dry skin to show you today. Don't get me wrong, I love my skin. I think it's lovely, but it's also not perfect. And those two things exist at the same time. And now that we have all agreed that we are all super hot, let's just move on to the foundation test. Based on my arm swatches, I decided that either Fair 3 or Fair 4 would be my best bet. So, after a little face swatch, I decided to use Fair 4. I could definitely get away with Fair 3, but I think it would just end up looking a little bit sallow on me. So, Fair 4 it is. I'm going to apply this to one half of my face first. I'm starting off with a very light layer just to get a feel for the foundation. I can always add more later. Plus, this claims to be a buildable foundation, so we definitely want to put that to the test as well. I just blended this in with my fingers initially, and I like this method quite a lot for this formula. It blends out really easily with very little fuss. And this first layer gave me a light coverage and decidedly a little bit of that blur effect too, in my opinion. You can see from the side by side with one light layer versus no foundation at all on the other side that the coverage is very natural. You can still see some of those freckles and some of my redness peeking through, but it definitely evens things out. It's not filter perfect for sure, whatever that means, but it's noticeably more evened out, in my opinion. I did want to see how this would build up, and I also wanted to see how a foundation brush would work with this formula, since that is my personal go to method for base application these days. My opinion is this formula is very, very buildable. You can go from light to medium coverage with ease. I ever so slightly prefer the look of this when it's blended with fingers, just a little bit more so than the brush, but I don't think there's a huge difference. At the end of the day, both methods work well and the finished looks are they're not going to be that much different in my opinion. When I was perusing the little itty bitty label with the ingredients on it, I noticed that this does contain dimethicone, which I am always wary of. I'm not sensitive to it or allergic to it or anything. It's just that dimethicone usually does not play well with my skin dryness and my overall just the texture of my skin. That certainly will account for the blurring claims that they make about this product, but also this probably accounts for why it is sitting a little bit weird on my cheeks here. I tend to not be a fan of products with dimethicone overall, but especially when I'm having a lot of skin dryness, like I am at this point in time, particularly this week that I filmed this wear test video. It got cold and windy very suddenly after a warm spell. Second winter arrived and my skin was none too pleased. So I've been taking care of it and babying it, and we're getting back on the right track, but it's not the best time for dimethicone to touch this poor, dry, flaky old skin. This also has hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and it's supposed to be a balance between that silky blurring and a creamier. They never claim for it to be hydrating in the description, but they do make a point of saying it has hyaluronic acid for hydrating. So I think that it's a nice balance. I like this type of finish because I think that a lot of different skin types and skin textures are going to find this foundation balm as that little center slice of the Venn diagram. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody or that it's the be all end all, but I do imagine that this is going to be suitable for a lot of different skin types. I even think that this will look much, much better when I am not quite as dry. So, for my fellow extremely flaky dry girlies, keep an eye out because we may be struggling with the dimethicone in here, but even I, with perpetually dry skin, will be able to make this work a little bit more when I'm in a more hydrated place on a personal level. I hope that made sense. I'm here for my first check-in. I didn't go very long. It's only been about 2 hours, but I have a couple of things that I wanted to touch on because I'm about to film some eyeshadow for another video. And I just noticed a couple things about this foundation as I was preparing to film that eyeshadow. So first things first, I did use a little bit of my beloved Salt New York Best Case Concealer just under my eyes and a little bit on my nose area. And then I very, very gently, very lightly set that concealer with this e.l.f. Halo Glow press powder. I really kept my application of those two products very light. I want to avoid interfering with the foundation wear as much as possible. So I did not set my entire face. I haven't used any setting spray. I didn't use primer or anything like that. Just trying to keep it as much to the foundation as possible. I did add a little, very little bit of this cream blush. This is the Instant Crush Lip and Cheek Balm in the shade Love Interest. It's the lighter of the two Valentine's blushes. So I added just a little bit of that. Again, I didn't want to add too much stuff to my face, but I wanted to add a little bit of color. And then some brow gel and some lip oil. So the first thing that I noticed is the foundation is really gathering up in my little forehead wrinkle, crinkle, crevices. This isn't a very abnormal problem for me. It's definitely one of my main foundation struggles or problem areas. And I have other base products that I don't really find do this as much. But anyway, I wanted to show that to you. After only 2 hours, we're getting a very strong build up. I'm just gonna kind of blend that in and see if after a few more hours it comes back or if maybe that can resolve the issue. We'll see. The other thing I notice is that in this area, this is where you would put like contour, is looking extremely dry. It's really clinging to my dry patches, specifically in that area. Let's see if it's doing it around my nose. It's not as bad. Got a little bit of nose gunk. Not too bad. Let's check the chin. That's another problem area for me. Actually looks good. How about between the brows? Actually looks good. Okay, so a few factors when we're evaluating these little dry patch spots. First of all, this is typically not a big problem area for me. However, I am experiencing some strange weather and subsequently my skin is not really living its best life. I think we all go through those ups and downs. We just had a super strange weather fluctuation here where for a few days it was really warm, really warm, like 70s and 80s and sunny and very comfortable, almost late spring, early summer type of weather. And now it's back to cold, windy, rainy 40s. That whiplash has done a number on my skin. Admittedly, I am part of the problem there. But it's strange to me that this is the main problem area because that's typically not where I struggle. Most often it'll be those forehead wrinkles and then dryness around my nose, around my chin and mouth, and in between my brows. A lot more central is where I tend to have my dry patches, dry problem areas. And typically the outer parts of my face, cheeks, under eye are not a big dry area for me. So that's a little bit odd, but we'll keep an eye on it. I think at my next check-in, if I'm still experiencing a lot of these dry, patchy spots. Maybe we'll try to add a hydrating setting spray and see if that can help us a little bit. But for now, I'm just gonna let this makeup ride and see what it looks like after a few more hours. I'm gonna go film an eyeshadow palette video that you will probably see before you see this video. And I'll be back to check in a few hours. So I'll see you then. I'm back for another check-in. As you can see, I have some eyeshadow on. This is from my Love Language palette review. I will be wearing 2 very different eyeshadow looks all day today, which should be fun because I have a bunch of errands that have to run around outside of my house. But you know what? It wouldn't be the first time I've gotten stared at strangely in public, so it's fine. It's been about 4.5 hours since I applied this foundation, just under 5. So we'll call it 4.5. So let's check in. I have not done any touching up or anything for my face since my last check-in. Added eyeshadow and I filmed some lip swatches, but I didn't have to disturb any of my makeup for that. Let's first check in on the forehead wrinkle. It looks like we have collected some more foundation in it, but it doesn't look as much as last time. So maybe I need to hit the forehead with some setting powder. Next time I wear this, I'll try that and see if it helps. Let's check in on those flaky spots on the cheeks. It doesn't look like it's gotten any worse. In fact, I think this side maybe looks a little bit better than before with that, just with some wear and warming up. I think maybe it's settled in a little bit. Under eye and the cheeks where my blushes look great. Collected a little bit more nose gunk. I think my nose looks pretty good though. Check out the chin and mouth area. Maybe looking a little bit drier around here than it did at the last check-in, but maybe I just don't remember. All in all, I think it looks about the same as my last check-in. Maybe a little bit better in some spots, but I could also just be misremembering it since I have been filming a bunch of other stuff in between. So maybe I am overestimating and it's just the same. I do want to try adding a little bit of setting spray to see if some moisture will help with these dry, patchy spots. Let's use the ColourPop Lock It In spray and see if maybe that helps. Why not? I want to try to get 8 hours of wear out of this foundation. Since that's a typical work day, I tend to try to shoot for an 8-hour wear test. So I'm going to go run a bunch of errands. It's very cold outside, so I hope that I don't have like a drippy nose or have to blow my nose too much, but I guess that's part of the wear test, regular wear and tear on your makeup. I'm gonna charge my camera battery because she's about to die, get to work on editing this other video if I have time for that, and then I'll be back to check in and wrap this whole video up after we get at least 8 hours. Wish me and my foundation luck, and let's go to future Amanda. Hopefully her makeup looks good. Okay, I'm back at the end of the day. I've been wearing this for a little over 8 hours now, and I want to take a close-up look and see how this foundation is setting. I was out and about, and it is pretty cold outside. It's not freezing, but it's cold and windy and dreary. Let's see how I held up to the elements. First thing I notice is that my forehead little crinkles are not gathering up foundation as much as previous check-ins, so that is nice. You can still see some of this dryness right here. Part of that is not the foundation's fault. I'm just not having like a great moment for my skin right now. And I think that with some more moisture prep, that this probably would not be as pronounced as it is, especially because my usual dryness problem areas are not really acting up as much. Let's see this side. I can still see that little flaky look. I do think that the setting spray did help mitigate some of that dryness. not too bad. At the end of the day, I'm much happier with how this wore than I expected. After that initial check-in, I really thought that this was going to be just dry, flaky, patchy city all over my face by the end of the day. And I actually think this ended up looking a little bit better as the day went on, particularly after I added some setting spray. And I will definitely be using this with some sort of hydrating setting spray or finishing spray going forward. But once my weather is more humid and I don't have nearly as much dryness to contend with, I imagine that this is going to be a really nice option for me. I love how quick and easy it is to just swipe on and go. I do think that I got some of the blurring effect that it claims to have. Like the coverage, it evened out some of my redness that I'm experiencing, but it doesn't look super heavy and flat. This is a product I can see becoming more of a staple in the warmer months for me. But for my friends with very dry skin like myself, beware, this may have a tendency to accentuate some of those dry spots. However, if you have normal or combo skin, this may end up being the perfect texture for you. As with all the products I review, I am definitely going to continue wearing this, trying it in combination with some other products to see what leads to the best outcome. And as usual, I'll keep you posted on that. Keep an eye out for my monthly rankings where I'll go over more details of the extended testing and wearing of new products that I've been reviewing. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about this new foundation stick. Are you interested? Do you think this is something that will work for you? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. Tell us your skin type, maybe if you have some other foundation balms or foundation sticks that you really love, make sure you leave those suggestions for us too. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! It probably looks a little strange that I have two different eye looks on, but I was also filming with the new Odin's Eye Love Language palette, so go check out this video if you're curious about my eyeshadow. I know this one will be posted first because this product's being announced first. And I really couldn't decide what type of eye look I wanted to do, so I did two. And I love them both. But I'm very distracted by these sparkles today in the best way possible. Look at my little Valentine's earrings. Aren't they cute? These are little rose quartz hearts. I love these. They don't have to be for Valentine's though. I could wear these anytime. They're just so fun and dangly and dainty. I like that. From this conversational distance, I don't think you can even really tell that I'm having this little dry issue. It's really just pretty close up. You have to be pretty close up to see it. But you know, when I'm reviewing, I really need to be super, super picky. That's sort of the point of these in-depth reviews and wear tests. In my mind, anyway. Hopefully you agree. Ooh, I want a snack. I feel like I say that every time I'm filming. I'm like, I need a snack. I either need caffeine or I need a snack. Making some turkey chili tonight. It's such a good chili day because it is literally so chilly outside. I'm ready to make a little fire in the fireplace, maybe put on a little movie, eat a little bowl of chili, maybe eat two little bowls of chili. Who knows? I'm crazy like that. She says, describing the tamest thing she's ever done. Classic. I've also been wearing this eyeshadow for so many hours and it still looks so good. Oof, I can't get over it. I thought that I was going to be the most obsessed with this because I love purple, clearly. But this sparkly champagne color is just it for me. Glamorous. Glamorous. Huh? Okay. Yeah, that's what she said. Go check out my little heart earrings on my Etsy shop. I made some cute little heart-shaped earrings. You don't have to just wear them for Valentine's Day. You can wear them whenever you want. No one's the boss of you. I mean, maybe somebody is. I don't know, but I'm certainly not. All right. Snack time and then editing so that you can actually watch this video. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. It's really cool. It's a cool thing that you did there. And one of the many millions of reasons why I love your face. I'll be back in another video real soon. That sounded threatening, but it wasn't meant to be. Love your face. Bye.